Hello and welcome to Passion Supernatural Podcast, people. The podcast where we discuss what we consider to be the best soap opera ever, Passions. Here we are, another weekend, ready to strike up and, well, strike a harmony pose, as I like to say. A harmony pose indeed. Yes, again, I keep on forgetting the number. We've come so far. We have done 40 something. I think we're on to our
45.
40. Yeah, thank you, girl. Thank you. 45th episode. Man, I can't believe how far we've come since the very beginning. Hi there, I'm Joe Velasquez, host of Passion Supernatural Podcast. Joining me is my lovely co-host, Casey Metcalf. How you doing, sweetie?
Doing good. Been really hot out.
Oh, say that again. Oh, it is hot. Yeah, I went out today to go to a doctor appointment and I felt like the sun beamed right into my chest. It was so hot. Oh, very hot indeed. Well, anyways, people, along with us today, we always love to have her, our frequent guest appearance, Acacia. How you doing, girl?
Hello, I am also very hot. Well, I'm cold down here in my basement. That's why I have a blanket on. But Ohio,
Right.
the heat wave it's rough.
New York, too. It's very atrocious heat. It is just very bad. Ugh. Yeah, luckily the places that I was at today, like at my doctor appointment, in the car, at least they had air condition. Here, all I have is this fan blowing on me, and it can only do so much.
Yeah.
So hot. Anyways, people, so yeah, here we are once again. So I hope a lot of you are tuning in to watch, because here we are once again, another weekend, just discussing, can you guess it? You got it. Passions, harmony, magic, soap opera, NBC to DirecTV, 99 to 2008. We're all here to discuss it. That's right. So why don't we get this show on the road? I'll just start off by just saying really quick, I'll just say or whatever, no updates on me. I haven't really made any more phone calls or whatnot. I need to get back on that. I really do. I need to find, again, that is if I haven't forgotten anybody, that is. I think I've got almost everyone. I think there might just be, say, maybe 2 or 3 that I've missed out on, and I just haven't taken the time to make more calls. It's a good thing I still have IMDb Pro all the way until a certain part of this month before it expires, so I still have plenty of time, I guess. So, but that's pretty much on me. So, I guess I'll just pass the word on to our other biggest, passions goer here. Who's always making videos and always catching up and everything. Acacia, I've actually seen a number of your videos on TikTok. I've been really seeing a fair number, so what's going on? Where's it going with you?
I'm still in the same place with Passions. I have not watched this week.
Jeez.
I know. I literally last night I was like telling my husband like I need to like watch a few episodes so I can like really, but no, I didn't. So sorry.
Once again, watch it with us. We'll watch it with you.
I know. I just haven't because usually I watch them off of my computer because they're on a Google Drive, and it's just been just crazy lately. So I just haven't really had them on very much. Or like I'll turn on. I have a TV down here. I'll turn on like Grey's Anatomy or something for like background noise because I just need to like just have the background noise. But I don't know. So the TikTok. So I've made actually a few videos that were pretty. Let's see. I'm trying to think from the last time that we were together. What have I put out there? I did a screen grab, a recording of Tabitha as the fortune teller, telling Teresa
I saw that.
She's gonna be a Mrs. Crane.
Those moments of Teresa with that fortune teller, they make my heart quench and everything. Like, grow up, Teresa. Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that at the beginning, at least, I don't know if there's a fortune teller at another point in the show.
She does come back as a fortune teller in the final season, and that's what I was saying. And that's what I was saying. In the final season, Teresa ain't no teenager anymore. She's a fully grown adult.
17.
She should be. Yeah. By the final season, she not only is, but she even looks like an actual adult. You can totally tell she's grown up and everything. And I'm like thinking, God, this woman still believes in fortune tellers. I'm like, come on.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I have friends who do like for like like palm readings or like
Mhm.
fortune telling. I had when I was trying to get pregnant with my son, I actually talked to three. They weren't fortune tellers. They were like, what do you call them? I don't remember what you call them, but
Psychics.
they were basically people who could they would like look at your picture and like kind of I guess feel out the vibes or whatever and like predict when you would get pregnant. And actually, I did three of them. I mean, I was very obsessive about getting pregnant. I did three of them, and they actually were somewhat accurate. They don't give me too many details, but all three of them said I would have a boy, and all three of them said it would be like that they saw something big happening in the fall. And I found I was pregnant in November, like the beginning of November. So, I understand Teresa because I might believe it a little bit too myself. Um, so I
No,
get
I mean me and my ex-wife, I mean in the beginning of our marriage, we kind of went to Coney Island like a lot, and they actually have fortune tellers there. And we got our fortunes told and all that one at a time. And I knew it was all just for fun. I don't believe in that stuff, and I knew it was all just for fun. But the fortune tellers both basically told the both of us one at a time, and all when we each took our turns to go in, that things were gonna go great for the two of us, and we were gonna be in happiness. And yeah, right. Look at where we are now and everything. No, you're right, Casey. Absolutely not. No, I mean that very following that, things just got very bad. I will not go into the details here on the show, but just yeah, it just got very bad and everything. So I mean, and here my ex-wife is basically all crying and be like, "But the fortune teller said this and that." I'm like, "Oh my God, will you grow up?" Seriously, it's all just a way for them to make money. Seriously, it's all it
I can see
is.
that. I can definitely see they make because I mean I'm not gonna lie, I paid probably like $50, so 50 between $50 and $75 per psychic
Exactly. I
reading.
mean, this isn't that so Raven for crying out loud. So
That's the way in here.
My
yeah,
brother loved that show. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, so that was something that I posted. It actually kind of got like a decent amount of views. It's like pinned on the top of my page now, so
hmm
anyone listening can check it out. I think I did one about James Hyde. I didn't do the Where Are They Now yet because again,
yeah.
I've set it all up. I just haven't like actually posted it. I try to post like every other day or maybe a few like I don't want to like over post. And I know TikTok is like, oh, you should post a ton, but I also just don't have the time to cut clips
Sure.
up. But like about like James Hyde being a model, prior like
Doesn't
specifically a
surprise
varsity model
me.
prior to this. Huh?
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, people like James Hyde, Galen Gehring, Jesse Metcalf. Some of those guys really wouldn't. Just doesn't surprise me if they were models at some point. I mean, look at them bodies. I mean,
I
come
know
on.
it.
I mean, it's. I'm
they
a
work on
guy, and
their
I'm not.
bodies.
What's that?
They work on their bodies too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I'm a guy, and no, I don't look at guys modeling and all that stuff, but just I don't know. There's just something about them, if you know what I mean. That I'm just like, yeah,
They're
that doesn't
hot. They're
surprise
super hot, and that's I get it. They are. But no,
That's
so
why
like
even though they haven't really done it in a long time on days, except for maybe if a character's going swimming, but that's kind of why on Passions they did it like constantly. They were always taking their shirts off and all that stuff. So I'm surprised they didn't. I mean, well, what is there that a woman is legally allowed to do that's not too exposing? I was
you
gonna
know
say
what?
I'm surprised they didn't give something for a woman for the ladies to do, but what is there
So
that's not too
there
exposing?
was, I feel like in the like maybe first or second season where Sheridan was like topless sunbathing, but she was like laying on her stomach. So like
Mhm.
she was, but she like you could see her whole back, like she was like topless.
Oh dang, I don't
So
remember
I feel like
that.
that's probably as close as they could push it, obviously with
Well, I mean,
the
I do know that they actually. I mean, I do remember seeing like Heidi like in her bra and her panties and stuff like that and everything. I'm like, geez, they should do that more often for the ladies, since the guys are always taking their shirts off and everything. Give the guys a break and give something to the girls to expose
No,
themselves.
the guys are constantly shirtless. I think that Justin Hartley did an interview years ago, or I think it's been a few years, where he like made a joke about how like passions, like they would be shirtless everywhere, like in the hospital, like in the park, like wherever they would just like end up shirtless for like no reason, because like who's walking through the hospital shirtless, like so totally get
Yeah.
it.
And then I mean it was just like on I don't remember who the guy was. I mean, he was obviously somebody on Days of Our Lives, not Passions. I don't remember who it was. But it was just like on how all those years ago on The Weakest Link, when it was Days of Our Lives versus Passions and everything. And I remember Anne questioning one of the guys. I wasn't watching Days back then, so I don't know who he was. But Anne was questioning one of the guys or whatever. I can't remember what she was saying, but I remember his response was, "Are you asking me to take my shirt off right now?" And like that or whatever. And so, and then obviously, if you remember, they actually did do it. I think it might have been episode 3. I think it might have been on Passions Live. They even did it on there even. I mean, it was Eric, James, and Dylan. And I mean, Eric and Dylan did it, James didn't, so.
I think that they like, even like, so I kind of always noticed like when Eric became Ethan that he was shirtless way more than Travis was. But like, because like he would be like waking up, coming downstairs at the mansion like with like a robe that's like just open, or he was always like in a pool, or like whatever. I mean, he was always shirtless. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, the only time that at least from what I've seen, maybe I've not been paying much attention. They don't do it that much nowadays. But the only time I've ever seen him take his shirt off or anything like that on Days as well, basically if he's with another woman. That's basically the only times. Other than that, no, he's a professional guy on this one.
Wow.
Yeah, and the same thing with Galen. He only takes his shirt off if he's with his woman. He's single right now, but whenever he's with a woman. So other than that, they don't take their shirts off that much on here.
Do they take like on the soap in general? Do they take their shirts off a lot? The younger, because I feel like maybe because they're older, like
What do you mean? What are you asking?
Like on Days, do the guys like, are there a lot of shirtless guys, like the younger guys? Because I wonder if it's like they're like older, so they just like don't have to.
Again, just from the times, at least now, it's been so long since I started Days. I didn't start until Galen and Eric made their first appearances. That was when I started watching. I started specifically because of them. They were the reason that I decided to start watching Days. But, so I can't really remember going all the way back, but nowadays, the only times that you really see anybody with their shirts or anything close to their clothes off is if they're well in bed with a woman. That's basically it. Other than that, you don't really see them walking around that often like they did on Passions and everything. I mean, of course, like I said, I remember a lot of them, would get like that, like when Rafe was with Sammy. God, I miss them together. Sammy's not even on the show anymore. Like that, and EJ was with Sammy, with Brady was with the who knows how many girls he's had, and he hasn't been able to keep any of them. And stuff like that or whatever. But and I mean, right now they've got a few couples where every once in a while you might see the guys with their shirts off and stuff like that or whatever. But it's so. And the truth of the matter is, I'm going to be honest with you, I know that I'm probably going a little bit far saying this on the show, but I don't think it's that much of a big deal. But the point of it is just I find it incredibly interesting that on soap operas, but I get it. It's TV. I get it. I understand. And not to mention it's whatever the word is. It's I forget what the word is, a certain channel or whatever kind of channel that is. But the thing of it is that I don't really understand how they actually expect us to believe that women actually have sex or whatever wearing their bras. I'm like thinking to myself, seriously, when is the last time you've ever seen, even in R-rated stuff and everything, when have you ever seen a woman in the bed with a guy wearing a bra, and when they get done doing it and they're laying in the bed together, she's got a bra on, he's got nothing on. I'm like, seriously? I mean, come on, they expect us to believe that? The woman needs to be entirely bare to sleep with a guy, seriously. I get it, it's a soap opera, it's not an X-rated show, but come on. They should have had some sort of a way, I don't know, have the blanket covering her up higher or something. Don't show
I feel like
the
sometimes
bra.
they had like the blanket, like on Passions, like they would have the blanket, or because like I feel like I'm thinking about like
Around them.
Sheridan and Louise.
And
'Cause
I
they're
also
in
noticed
the
that with
show.
I especially noticed that with at least Sylvana, that is. I don't think so much with Anya, but when it was Noah and Paloma, they definitely did that. Not so much when Anya was on. With Anya, there was definitely the bra, but Sylvana had it up more and all that stuff. So, but I'm just saying, I mean, I think it's really about time that soap operas in general, not just Days, but soap operas in general, I really think that it's about time that they got a little bit, I don't know what the word is. I'm not going to say the word dirtier, but I just say, I don't know, just get more big with the cursing, if you know what I mean. I understand that was, I might as well bring this up. I understand that was what, when they brought Days to Peacock, their original intention was to actually go a little bit further. They actually had the characters saying words like shit and stuff like that, words that they would not say on NBC and all that stuff. But then once they started doing it, they got complaints. And so they had to cut back and go back to being their original ways. And I'm like, oh, come on! This is soap operas. It should be a little bit more real and actually blurt those cuss words and get a little bit. I mean, again, they don't gotta go all X-rated, but they can get a little bit more showy when it comes to
It's
those
not like
sex scenes.
it's not like kids watching it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Passions was, like Eric actually said on Passions Live, we're not your mother's soap opera, and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, they have sex, but, I mean, who doesn't? If, other than that, you're right. I mean, it's not like kids watch it. I don't know of any kids that watch soap operas, so...
So so I think I've told you all that I'm in there's another Passions podcast that I listen to also. And they have a group, and they actually did a poll not too long ago about like how old people were when they started watching Passions. And a lot of us were fairly young, like 10, 11, 10. I think the youngest was like maybe 9 or 10. Obviously the oldest were like probably in their like late teens, early 20s. I mean, I was 13 when I started watching it.
I was like in high school. I think it might have been high school, I think.
I was 12.
Yeah, like so there were some young ones who watched Passions. And even before that, I had watched One Life to Live and All My Children and some
I
of the
didn't
old,
watch
like,
any of that
Dallas
stuff. I didn't watch any of that stuff until after Passions. I mean, after Passions, I went on to Days mainly because of Galen and Eric, and then I just decided to check out a few, but I didn't watch them as constant as I do Days. I watch Days all the time. I don't remember if I even watched today's episode. I can't remember. I have to go back and look, but I mean, General Hospital, All My Children, Young and the Restless, I have never watched them, like every single episode. If I hear something big is going on, if I hear somebody that I know is going to be on the show, such as like when Lindsay Hartley temporarily played Sam on General Hospital, and now Billy Flynn, who has been on Days for a number of years, he's now on Young and the Restless, and they have a new Chad, who I'm going to be honest, I'm not really, I mean, again, maybe it's an unpopular opinion, I don't know, I'm not really getting used to this new Chad. I miss Billy too much. I know that it was Billy's choice to leave, he's now on Young and the Restless, but this new Chad, I'm just not getting him. I'm really not. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion or if there are others out there who want Billy back, I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know if he's just too nice, whereas Billy was a little bit of in between. He knew how to be nice, but he also knew how to be rough at the same time. But this guy playing Chad is just way too nice and everything, and stuff like that. But anyways, stuff like that and everything, or whether, like, I heard there was this one time I heard that Travis was actually going to be on General Hospital, and it never happened. Um, and I mean, such as like when Molly Burnett, who was on Days of Our Lives, if she I think she temporarily was on General Hospital as well. I can't really remember, but I think so. I can't remember and stuff like that. So if I heard that something like that was going on, I would turn it on and I would check it out and stuff like that. I even know that James Scott, EJ from Days of Our Lives, he was on All My Children before he was on Days. I couldn't believe it when I found that out. I was like, oh my god, this horrible villain was actually on another soap opera before he came over to Days. So and stuff like that, but. No, I haven't watched those as frequent as I do Days. I never miss an episode of Days, but and once I started Passions, I never missed an episode. But these other soap operas, I just tune in every once in a while.
Yeah, I started watching soap operas young because my mom watched them. So like,
So
if
did
we
my
were like
mom.
folding the clothes or something, like
too.
she would be watching. Yeah, she would be watching like One Life to Live and All My Children, like because she recorded them on like VHS, and like we would be watching them. So I wasn't like super invested in it. I mean, there were points I guess where I probably was super invested in it, but yeah, no, I started watching soap operas fairly young, and then Passions, like I found Passions when I was like 13, and
All right then, Casey. I guess we might as well take back what we just said there. I guess there are a few kids. Well, I guess with
Yeah,
Days it's a little bit different. I think Days can actually get a little bit whatever the word is. I don't know if the word is darker, dirtier. I don't know what the word is
it's a little
or whatever.
raunchy,
Well, even that, I'm not
a little
entirely sure. I don't know
saucy.
if you would say further with the cursing. I don't know if raunchy would be the word for that or something, but Days can actually get whatever the word is I'm trying to get. Passions really couldn't. Passions was, well, cheesy and crazy storylines. Again, as I've said before, in a way, maybe not 100%, but at least 90. I would want to say give it at least a 90%. It was like a soap opera for kids in a way, sort of, but not entirely because it did have a few inappropriate things. And not to mention, I mean, I think that if they did release it onto DVD, I really do think that they would probably have to put the warning on there that this has supernatural witchcraft and everything. If you're very, very
yeah.
religious and everything, you shouldn't watch this. It would
That's
still need that kind of a thing.
that's what my mom hated. She
Yeah,
hated the witchcraft on it. And
yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I'm not into that. I'm into love stories,
Now you're
romance.
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah, now you're talking my language.
I'm not into the witchcraft part, but I'm into the romance and the love scenes and that kind of stuff.
And I've got so many super religious friends who can't shut up about the religion stuff and everything, and that I mention Passions and I tell them what it's about, and they have like no interest because of how religious they are. I'm like, God, you guys don't know how to have fun. And so, but, 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 but basically, um, 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 but anyways, as I was saying, Order Passions was just super cheesy and very, 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 very just crazy and unrealistic for that matter. While while Passions has actually gotten lighter as the series went on. As I told you, I think come the final season, even though the final season has always been my favorite, that's a very unpopular opinion because many people actually hated the final season the most. As I like to say or whatever, it seems very, very much like the writers kind of just stopped caring or whatever because because while the storylines were crazy before, they were like unbearably crazy in the final season. It was like seriously and stuff like that. Or so I can understand why many people didn't like it, but it was my favorite. So while Passions was getting lighter, Days has kind of gotten darker, if you know what I mean. Whereas it started off as one thing, and then where it is now, it's very dark, and there's a lot of extremely holy cow, whoa, 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 very, very, very sad, heartbreaking, tear-jerking moments. But then, now that I think about it, even just saying that, this will probably make you girls probably think, doesn't that sound very, very familiar to another soap opera we know? Is that basically, I'll never forget messaging a friend of mine who is the Days she even has her own Days podcast. Is is that there actually was, I forget how many years ago it was. I forget how many years ago it was. It was the character of Bo, who has been dead for a while and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There actually was a moment on the show where a few other female characters ended up dying, and then the next thing we know, where are they? We actually see them in heaven, and we
I
actually
saw that
see,
episode.
yeah, and we see Bo up there flipping through the channels, watching his loved ones. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, what's this? I'm like, this looks incredibly. I messaged my friend and I'm like, since when did Days get so cheesy? And she's like, you're one to talk, the one who's so obsessed with Passions. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but Passions was known for its light humor. This here, I mean, this looks like it could be Passions. I thought that Days was getting darker. And she goes, oh, no, hell no, and all that. No. I'm like, so I don't know. I mean, while the show has gotten darker, it still has its moments. So, yeah. But I couldn't believe when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, it's almost like I'm watching a Passions episode. I mean, since when in soap operas do they actually show people in heaven and all that? I mean, and not to mention flipping through TV channels, watching their loved ones on Earth. It's silly. So, I don't know, but
I
I'm
did
just
see
saying,
that.
yeah.
I saw that. It was like
I'm just
on.
saying, I really think that Days needs to get a little bit, more, whatever the word is. You all know what I'm talking about. All of you viewers and you two know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the word is. So, yeah. So, but anyways, go on. Anything else for you, girl?
No, I'm just trying to, think of new stuff to post. I try to do stuff that's like timely, like
It's
like
good.
clips, but also like timely. Like I did one about like Love Island, comparing Ethan to this guy on Love Island today.
I think I did see something of that.
Probably it was a pretty good one. And so yeah, so I try to like kind of do some timely things and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'm still, a big part of me is like wanting to, as I mentioned before, I've really thought about doing kind of like a side by side of all the Passions recast because I've definitely done something like that for YouTube. But in order for me to make it, I would need to make my way over to the computer, and it's just so hot. It's just too hot to get away from my fan. My fan's all the way over here where I am now. The computer's way over there. The fan will be able to get me, but it will get me even less over there than it is right here. So before you know it, I'll be sweating and I'll just be dying to get back to my bed. So, not to mention, it is kind of hard to actually. I don't even know what episode or two it was. I can't remember if, like one or two episodes it was. It's especially kind of difficult to actually find pictures or even clips of when Riv Hillis temporarily played Ethan. So that's he's a little hard to find. So yeah.
Yeah, that would. And I kind of do that sometimes, like having people like pick, like, oh, who was like, I think you had commented recently on one that's like, who was your favorite K, and like showing all the replaced,
Mhm.
like all three, Ks. And
Sure.
yeah, I did that actually, I think when I first started the, not podcast, sorry, the TikTok with Ethan and like Travis and Eric. Um, so yes, I try to occasionally do that. I just try to have to think of like new stuff to post and a lot of work posted on social media.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what I got going on. Yeah.
Boy. um. You gotta keep us going, girl. You gotta get more
I have
passion
no
stuff on
idea.
the
I mean, I can talk. I mean, I don't know what to say.
As
I
I've
mean, I
said,
can go
we should.
into so okay, so I'll actually so you said that you saw my post today about Love Island and Ethan,
I
and I
might
did,
have.
huh? You
I
may
might
have.
have. I
So
can't remember.
do either of you watch Love Island?
No,
Okay.
A whole about, yeah.
Yes.
never
Okay.
heard of it.
So
About her.
the reason why I posted this, and you're gonna love this, you're gonna be so mad. Um, so obviously Love Island, like You have the like OGs, they come in, they like are supposed to couple up with each other. After a couple of weeks, they bring like bombshells in who are like these other hot people who kind of come in and disrupt their relationships. And then a couple of weeks after that, they can choose to stay in the couple that they're in or like date a bombshell or whatever. And then a couple weeks after that, they send them to Casa Amor. So Casa Amor basically is like the guys go to this like the Casa Amor, and there's like 6 new women that they spend like a week with and decide if they want to stay in their couple or like bring these other girls back.
Right.
And then the women get the same thing. They got 12 this season, but usually it's like 6. And they, same concept. So there's this guy, and his name is Sincere, and he was in a couple with Melanie, and he's just telling her all the things that she wants to hear, like, oh, like I, want to be with you, all this stuff. And then he's like making out with all these other girls, or like saying, not all these, it was a few other girls, and saying how he wants to be with them and stuff like that. And so they always do this thing called movie night, where basically all of the, like, they put together clips of all of the like cast members saying things like contradicting themselves or like lying or making out with people who aren't their couple and all those things. So Sincere's was terrible. Like, Sincere showed him saying one thing to Melanie, the girl he's paired up with, and then another thing to the girl that he's making out with. Yeah. And I saw it this morning. I was thinking about it. I was like scrolling. I was rewatching the clip from movie night, and I was like, oh my God, this is Ethan Winthrop. Like, let me make a post comparing Sincere and Ethan, because they both are gaslighters, lies, perpetual, just, what did I say? Playing in your face, just people. Because so you can tell that that Sincere is a people pleaser, and he like doesn't want to hurt anyone. So like, again, he has good intentions, but good intentions with a bad outcome are still bad to me. So and that's Ethan. Ethan was a people pleaser, in my opinion, and he didn't want to hurt Gwen. He didn't want to hurt Teresa, and then in the end, hurt both of them. And I was watching this clip on someone else who posts clips, and it was like from one of the like last seasons, like not the absolute last seasons, like maybe 2006, 2007. And Gwen and Ethan are like in bed, and I think that he was maybe like talking in his sleep or something about Teresa. And what did she say? Something to the effect of like, how do you think your obsession with another woman has affected me all these years? And I just remember thinking, oh my God, like, you look so stupid. Like, if I knew my husband had an obsession, like the way that she worded it, she said obsession. Like, obsession with another woman, like, I would definitely not be married to them anymore. So that was when I posted, I actually thought about you when I posted, but I knew I had a good feeling that you probably did not watch Love Island, and so you probably did.
I need to watch that.
You should 1,000. This season is really good. Last season was good too. A lot of controversy. This season has also been a lot of controversy. My TikTok is like all Love Island right now because it's what the kids want.
What's it on? Like
Peacock. It's on Peacock.
Peacock, is it?
Yep, and they do it every day, so it airs every single day except.
Oh, it's still going.
Oh yeah, so it goes till the end of the summer. Well, not end of. It's about 6 weeks, and it airs every day. So I think it started at the beginning of June, maybe like June 2nd or something like that. And it goes like about 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. It airs every day except for Wednesday. It doesn't air at all, and then Saturdays they do like this kind of recap after sun thing. It's a good show. I mean, if you like trashy reality TV, it's definitely good. But that just made me think about Ethan, and so I had to post them. I had to.
Nice. Casey, I tell you, if we ever get Eric on this show, he's really gonna have to tell Acacia off.
Right. Eric would say like, "Oh, I was super indecisive." Like, not he, because he is an actor, but Ethan.
Right.
So indecisive.
I know.
And
No, I mean,
again,
he's even
he may have
admitted.
had good intentions, but
No, he's even admitted it or whatever. He has actually said that Ethan was a do-gooder in every sense of the word, and that he actually said that when he started portraying Brady, he started having. I mean, he had a lot of fun playing Ethan, but he started to have a lot more fun with Brady because he doesn't have to always be vanilla ice cream. He can actually be, darker, and he can be rougher and stuff like that. Whereas Ethan didn't really like getting into a fight unless it was absolutely necessary. Whereas Brady, on the other hand, this guy's getting drunk and he's going out there beating the crap out of people and stuff like that. So I mean, no, Eric actually admits it that as Ethan, he was just always goody goody. So
I think
that was
he
one of
was
the things
like,
that made people love about Ethan so much was how good he was.
I think it's so interesting that you say makes people love Ethan because people, from what I have seen on my TikTok comments and things like that, people did not love Ethan. Like, I mean, there are people who like love Eric, but like the people who like as like Ethan think he's like even you commented on someone who was this lady, whoever commented and said Ethan was definitely the villain. And I saw that you
No!
commented and said, no, I saw you commented and I liked both comments because I was like, finally, somebody, we're going to talk about it. But and maybe it's like the edits that I pull because I do a lot of edits that are very Ethan being, like, saying one thing to Teresa, oh, I love my wife, and then like making out with her, a few episodes later or something
Yeah,
like that.
no,
So,
I mean, no, it was just, crap, what was I gonna say again? No, it was just because, I've always known that Ethan had lots of lovers and all that stuff. Heck, I even remember when I met Dylan Fergus on webcam and I told him that his character of Noah was my second favorite male character on the show after Miguel. And he goes, oh wow, after Miguel, usually I get after Ethan. And so like that or whatever. Usually I get Ethan. And so like that. And I mean, why do you think everybody was rooting for Teresa to end up with him and all that kind of stuff and everything? I mean, I think Ethan had a lot of lovers and everything, and stuff like that.
maybe it's like looking at it from like a like 2026 lens. I think like I don't like this is not me saying like I hate Ethan. Like I love the love triangle. Like that was
Sure.
like
Kind of what made the show
that
go
was
on.
interesting. Like it was good soap TV was this
Sure.
love triangle and all the craziness. I'm not gonna say I don't love Ethan. Like I think that Ethan, someone okay, so actually I had this conversation with someone on Reddit recently, and because they had posted something, um, and they were like, I commented like, oh, Ethan was totally the villain in this storyline. And they commented like, I don't even necessarily think he was like the villain as much as he was just like furniture. Like he just kind of existed in I don't even know how to explain it. Like he just kind of like he did whatever someone else wanted him to do, basically. Like, oh, Gwen is telling you, like, do you love me? And blah 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 blah. And he's like, oh, I love you, I married you, blah blah blah. And then Teresa's like, oh, I love you, I'm in love with you, blah blah blah. And he's like making out with Teresa. So like to me, I guess I could see like he was obviously a significant character because that I feel like that love triangle pretty much carried, like in my opinion, carried
The show.
yeah,
Yeah.
like carried the show. But again, like I don't know if Ethan was played by someone else, if people would be so like, oh my gosh, like I just love Ethan. Like Ethan, like I think people like the person like Eric.
What do you think of when he was played by Travis? I
I
mean, what do
think he
you
was
think?
also like really likable then too, in my opinion. Like I
Mhm.
liked Travis also. Um, but I think that like even like when I post something on the TikTok, people are like, "Oh, I remember Eric." Like when they think
He
Passion
was on there
Ethan,
longer, that's
they
why.
remember Eric. Even like I said, I didn't never even knew that there was another Ethan until I started like when I was like 13, 14, like I would go on the Passion like fan boards and stuff like that, and people would talk about Travis. But I was like, who is this
Yeah.
guy?
Like
Um,
I said, Eric was on there longer, and
yeah,
he
because I
outlived
never
the
saw another
series.
Ethan other than Eric. And I
It
also
kind of
have the
makes you
same
think,
feeling
oh man,
about
how could that be so?
Teresa, and that like I think that people really loved Lindsay, and like I think, and I think I've said this before, when she was on parental leave and Priscilla Garita took over, like the way that she played Teresa was much more villainy, and it made you realize that like Teresa's villainy, like Teresa's done this like insane shit to get Ethan, and like yeah, you can say like oh it's out of love, which is okay, whatever, that's great, but she stole his embryos.
Oh,
That's
Mhm.
terrible. She sexually assaulted him or drugged
Yep.
him.
wait, Teresa did?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's how
she did.
she got pregnant with Jane.
Oh, I mean, I know that Kay did that with Miguel, but I didn't know anything about Teresa doing that with Ethan. Well, I'll be
Oh well,
damned.
spoiler alert. So what happened? And in case you can
Yeah.
tell me, I don't know because I don't. I remember this was like around when I started watching it, but if I get any of this
Mhm.
wrong, like correct me. So she stole Gwen and Ethan's embryos. Like she drugged the surrogate who was supposed to carry them because she was using their baby as leverage to get little Ethan back because they had taken little Ethan. And she, I think, like thought that she miscarried or thought she was miscarrying. So she was like, oh my gosh, like if I lose this baby, I'm going to lose my leverage to get my son back. And so she like drugged Ethan when I
Damn.
want to, Gwen was at like they were at like a heritage ball or something, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
She
And like Ethan was like slightly drunk, I think, or something like that. And she
Oh, geez,
drugged
Ethan
him.
drunk? Damn. This sounds more like
She
crazy.
yeah, she drugged him, put on a blonde wig, and had sex with him, and
Oh my God.
got pregnant. And then she ended up finding out that she was pregnant with twins. And it was this really rare thing where like they can be conceived at two different times or something like
Right, and
that.
Eve had to decide which one survived.
Yes, because one of them was like
Teresa
weaned.
mentioned that in the final episode. I wondered what in the hell they were talking about.
Yeah, so she has like I guess maybe she couldn't carry both of them because she's so small, or one was like weaker than the other, and so she
Mhm.
had to pick which one survived. And I think she just picked the stronger baby. I don't think that she went in. I think that there was a lot of lead up to like, oh, she wanted to get a DNA test. I don't remember how that whole thing worked out. I don't think that she did. I think she just went with whatever baby was strongest, which ended up being Jane, and which was her and Ethan's biological daughter. And so the baby that she got implanted with of Ethan and Gwen's died or was, terminated
Right.
or whatever.
Man, I guess, like
And
I said, I've said this time and time again. I've said this many times. Amazingly, my ex-wife agrees with me. Even though, no, I totally am Team Teresa, not Team Gwen. I'm totally Team Teresa, no matter what, to be with Ethan. But at the same time, I still wonder why it is that so many people have rooted for Team Teresa because again, Ethan was happy with Gwen. Teresa just swooped right on in and took everything away from him and all that stuff. So no, while I am Team Teresa, it still makes me kind of wonder how it is that she got so many supporters, if you know what I mean, and nobody ever looked at her like seriously, you're the bad one here, not Gwen. They were happy together and you ruined it, woman. So, but
that man.
yes.
She's immense now, so
What's that?
she's immense now, so
Yeah.
yeah, like she is. And I
like
genuinely believe that, like, the way that Lindsay played her is a big part of how she ended up being a fan favorite. And
That
just like
that would make a lot of
Lindsay,
sense.
like I just and because but even actually it's funny like on the TikTok like when I like you know post especially like a post like Teresa, Ethan, Gwen stuff, there is a fan base, there's a group, there's a kind of a lot. I mean, not as many that love Ethan Teresa, but there's That's a fan base out there for
I've met a
Gwen.
team. I've met a team Gwen and Ethan shipper. I met her in one of those Days of Our Lives Zoom get-togethers that I paid money for and got myself a ticket and got in. She yeah, somebody was actually talking about passions in there, and they goes, "I'm not a team Teresa. I'm a team Gwen." And I'm like, okay, I guess they are out there.
Oh my God, there's so many. I think I've mentioned this with the other Passions podcast. There's a girl who's on there frequently who will like defend Gwen till the end of the earth, like, and actually make some pretty good points that, like, when I look back on it now, again, like, I think that 13-year-old me was like, oh, like, I think Teresa's pretty and like I just like love her, and she's like
Yeah.
young and hip and cool, and so like that's why I like her.
I I also think that, I mean, you're right about what you said about Lindsay. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, she's gorgeous and everything
Yeah.
like that. But I really think, along with that, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but it just kind of like, I think that even though Teresa started off doing these bad things, like the stuff that we just talked about, all the things that she did to take away Gwen's stuff, don't quote me on this, it just seems like this in a way, sort of. It seems kind of like, because when the show first started off, just like with Sheridan, Gwen also started off as like the good person and really had no evil in her body at all and all that stuff. But then I just get this feeling that once Teresa started getting this big fan base to where so many people wanted Teresa to be with Ethan, they kind of had to change Gwen a little bit and make her more villainy because everybody was going for Teresa and not very many were going for Gwen. So they said, oh, if we're going to go down that path and Teresa's getting more support than Gwen, we got to make Gwen a bit more, kind of give Gwen what Teresa used to do. Because think about it. Think about it. Again, it's not until the final episode, I mean, it's stuff that's happened, but Gwen reveals it all in the final episode, and that's how Ethan dumps her and all that stuff and goes for Teresa. I mean, seriously, I mean, Gwen is actually willing to let her and Ethan's own son die just so that she could have him all to herself and everything. That's something I don't think Teresa would ever do and all that or whatever. She would not do something that cruel or whatever. That's just pure evil. The things, I mean, not to mention, it still completely shocks me because it really, really, really shows that Gwen really has made a pact with the devil and everything just to get Ethan all to herself. Is when when it's all revealed and everything, thanks to that videotape and all that stuff or whatever, thanks to that videotape and everything that she actually even says to Rebecca, she's like, you'll email me the funeral notices, won't you, mother? With pleasure. I'm like, oh my God, that's deep. That's deep. Oh my God, that really shows that she really has become pure evil and all that stuff to actually say, you'll send me the funeral notices. Oh my God. It's like she knows that people are gonna die. I mean, here I was for a very, 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 very long time. I mean, and my ex-girlfriend that I was dating at the time, she thought the same thing. She's like, yeah, I think so too. I actually really, really, really thought that maybe Gwen would actually get some kind of a redemption in the end, and that in factuality, it was actually Rebecca who's the real evil one, and that Gwen is just being like the strings are being pulled or she's being manipulated,
Yeah.
and that Rebecca is the pure evil one and all that stuff or whatever, and maybe Gwen might not end up with Ethan, but maybe just get some sort of redemption. I mean, Sheridan did. I mean, Sheridan got a redemption. She got Antonio. I mean, of course, a lot of people actually say that they only did that because they wanted Sheridan to have a happily ever after too, while Louise got fancy. So that's kind of obvious. But maybe Gwen would get something or whatever. But in the end, oh no, they're both just black-hearted people. They really did change up Gwen completely. So that's just my point on it. I don't know if they did, but it's just a thought. They just saw that Teresa was getting all this rooting for and this Team Teresa stuff,
Yeah.
that they thought, we got to change Gwen now. We got to make Gwen a little bit more villainy to have a rivalry or something like that. And then the whole, like you said, love triangle began. So yeah, that's just my thought though. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that they made Gwen become more like evil. I mean, I'm not obviously not that far along, but like what I've watched and then what I remember, I think that Gwen was always like, well, Liza Gwen was always like very scrappy, and Natalie Gwen was always very like manipulative calculating.
Hmm.
Like the tabloid gate happened while Natalie was playing Gwen.
Oh, okay. So that's when
Um,
that happened. Okay.
yeah, and then I think in like 2002,
Which
Liza
is when
came
Eric
back,
came on.
and yeah, Liza came back, and but she was just scrappy. Like she would fight Teresa, like she would call her a bitch. Like, I mean, it was like it was, like she was just much more scrappy. I feel like, and I think that they realized, like you said, that Lindsay was like, or that Teresa was getting a lot of fanfare. Even Natalie and Travis did their podcast, their Passions podcast. Like Natalie talked about like the fan mail that they would get, and that
Mm.
she wasn't a fan favorite, so like
Whoa.
she didn't get a lot of mail, and when she did, it was
Oh,
usually
that's
like,
mean.
I know, like that shit. When she did get mail, it was usually someone like berating her, or like she read one
Oh,
of them about some woman say like who was basically like, like he obviously wants someone else. Like you should just give him up and blah blah. I mean, like writing as if this is actually a real Gwen is actually a real person. She,
Eric
but yeah,
got that
she
same
said that
experience.
she very rarely read the fan mail because she didn't get a lot of it, number one, and didn't it was mostly not nice stuff anyway. Like so yeah, so that, which makes me think that probably Eric and Lindsay probably got really great fan mail.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I think that you actually made me think about something I was thinking about earlier this week, and I know we're going to be running out of time here, but you mentioned Gwen um having a son, Jonathan. I know about
That's right.
Jonathan. Okay, so
I
that
still
whole
don't know where
storyline
that kid
actually,
came from.
I wondered if like that is a plot hole that they intended to, if the show wouldn't have gotten canceled, like something. I think that something would have came out that Jonathan was not Gwen's child, like that they. This is like my thoughts. This is my guess.
Hmm.
That Jonathan was not her kid, because they spent the whole show pushing this point that Gwen was infertile. Like anytime Teresa and Gwen got into it, Teresa was like, "You're barren. You can't even have children." Like this was after Sarah died,
Yeah.
obviously. And it left her with, whatever situation happened that made her unable to have children. But like to me, I mean, and yes, of course I know how fertility works. Like, yes, she may have, magically ended up pregnant, but I feel like they left that as a plot hole that I don't think Jonathan was
I
Gwen.
kind of got that thought too, because if you really think about it, they were in a hospital when Jonathan was revealed. How else does a baby all of a sudden just show up? She stole it. It's just obvious.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
mean,
that was, yeah, like something that they would. And what got me was, and I know about the storyline because I've like watched clips and read and stuff like
that was
that.
kind of like around. That was around. I mean, maybe I don't know if it was if it was already into, or if it was like the very beginning of the move to DirecTV. So
I
it either was like around the final few episodes before the move to DirecTV, or it was like at the very beginning of DirecTV. It was one or the other.
I think that the last episode on NBC was Gwen showing up and telling Ethan, like, you have this baby, as Teresa is trying to tell him, hey, little Ethan is actually your son. And then it like goes and then it switches to DirecTV. But to me,
Hmm.
like Gwen was so desperate to have a baby that it makes no sense that she would not acknowledge her child. Like she would be like this like crunchy mom who like doesn't believe in like
Like
taking him to
Ethan
the
said,
hospital.
she's an unfit mother. Yeah.
Yeah, like she, like to
All she
me,
cared about was Ethan.
as someone who really, really, really wanted to be pregnant and, eventually did get pregnant and all that, like I can't see Gwen having let Ethan, or sorry, not Ethan, letting Jonathan get as sick as he did in those episodes without doing something, without intervening. Like, because then I don't remember exactly the circumstances, but he had like a super high temperature, like 104 or 105 or something like that. right?
Uh,
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Right.
and Ethan said, "Take him to the hospital," and Gwen said, "No, he's fine."
exactly. So
What a
to me,
witch.
when saying like I just don't believe that he was her biological son. I feel like there's maybe some reason she did not want to take him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Um, that we would have, eventually if the show would have
It's
went on
all coming
longer,
together. It's like little puzzle
found out.
pieces. You got to really think about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, because there's no way I feel like as someone who wanted to have a baby so badly that you would neglect them so much. Like 104 temperature. Like I take my kid to the doctor if his temperature, I'm calling the doctor if it's like 100, like
Yeah,
100.1, and I'm
really.
freaking out, like, oh my God, is he okay?
Oh,
So
this just really ticks me off that we may not ever actually find any contact with Liza Huber. I would love to get her on here. We could ask her if they ever, spilled the beans on her of how Jonathan came to be, and we could actually get some answers from her. I mean, oh.
yeah. So that is my like theory. I was thinking about that earlier this
No,
week
I'm with you.
about
No, it all
that.
makes sense. I actually agree with you. I think the same thing an awful lot because again, it was left on some kind of a cliffhanger, and it was, it never really was revealed. And like I said, they're in a hospital. I mean, and the baby came up just out of nowhere, right when Teresa's about to reveal the truth to Ethan. It just comes out of nowhere. So how else can an infant just show up in the middle of nowhere? And they're in a hospital, so it's just obvious that she went to the where all the babies are kept and stolen. It
Yeah,
all
I
just
definitely.
adds up. I think all three of us just figured that out.
Yeah, I think that that was gonna be maybe at some point something that came out. Obviously, they didn't have enough time to do that, but
Yeah, but no, I mean, they really took Gwen down. Um, they kind of, I mean, again, I mean, since you say that you'll more than likely be with us next week, um, they kind of took Gwen down the same path as Juanita in a way, sort of. I mean, Gwen turned from being the lovable woman who truly loved Ethan and just wanted a life with him and all that stuff to basically loving the idea of murder, if you know what I mean. She's willing to let their own son die. I mean, that's a completely different change in character from how the character first started out. She really, I mean, her and Sheridan both became bitches and everything. The only difference was that Sheridan, while she did become a villain, she still had some, I don't know, she still had some sort of sympathy with it and stuff like that. Whenever she did something very terrible, she felt bad for it, where she almost killed Teresa or tried to kill Teresa to save Louise. She felt terrible about it. It wasn't like she actually wanted to do it. And I mean, Casey, you remember because of how all the times that you and I watched together. I mean, Pretty actually gave Sheridan the opportunity to have Paloma killed and everything, and Sheridan just couldn't find it in herself to do it. And then, of course, when she was temporarily played by Cam Heskin for the second time on during the wedding rehearsal and all that, the wedding rehearsal, they and the dinner, she overhears Vincent and Vicky talking about how they're going to poison everybody. Spoiler for you, Acacia. Sorry.
okay.
That she originally thinks about just letting them do it so that everybody dies, but then she kind of is like, no, I can't do it. So you kind of see what I mean? Sheridan had a little bit of a conscience, even though she was indeed a villain and was doing everything she could to ruin everybody else with Louise just so that she could have Louise. She still felt sorry about it. Gwen, on the other hand, no. She was actually enjoying doing this bad stuff. As I said before, you'll email me the funeral notices, won't you, Mother? That is just low. Oh, man. I really think that just... Sometimes I actually think that it became more than just wanting Ethan. She was just pure evil, as Ethan called her, or whatever, because wanting a guy is one thing, but the stuff that she was saying and doing, that's more than just wanting a guy. Their own son, to let a whole family be killed and all that, that's just, ugh. That's just, yeah, that's the devil.
I think after a while, oh gosh, now I lost it. I was gonna say something.
Hmm.
I totally forgot it. So ignore me. I
Happens to me all the time.
totally lost it. Um,
But no, I mean, she really did. Like I said, she proved me wrong big time or whatever. Because like I said, yeah, you remember I see looking face.
I'm, so I was gonna say, and I do think that after a while, like it became more of just keeping Ethan away from Teresa than it was like, oh, I love Ethan. Like even towards like the beginning ish of the show, I feel like there were little Easter eggs that they dropped, even in like some of the first episodes, like Easter eggs that they dropped that like Gwen like also just like wanted the Crane name. And then it's kind of like after a while you get so far in, even after finding out that he wasn't a Crane.
Right.
But you get so far in, like I feel like it was like ego maybe and like pride too, that like, okay, I can't have like the maid's daughter take my boyfriend, my husband, my fiance, whatever. So I feel like it was more a pride. I think after a while, like I don't even know that she actually wanted Ethan as much as she didn't want Teresa to have Ethan.
Probably just thought she did and didn't even notice that, yeah, it wasn't like that. Some people just go crazy like that and they don't even realize that it's not just about what they think it is. It's more than that, so. But yeah, but you know what, everybody? Hey, our time is up. That is another episode gone by. That's the end of another show. All right, all right, all right. Okay, everybody, all of you watchers out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to tune in next week and everything. We will be back, and oh my lord, yes, that's right, next weekend on Sunday, 2 p.m., we will be live here. I cannot believe we're finally there. We will be having Juanita Vasquez herself, Jill Remez. She will be here to answer our questions, and who knows, even though she was only there for DirecTV, maybe she might have some news for us that we did not know about and everything. This could be something holy harmony. Yeah, holy harmony indeed. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. So please be sure to tune in next weekend, Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, where all of us, right? I know you'll be here, Casey. Acacia, you'll be here?
I intend to be here.
Good. That's just what we wanted to hear. And that's just what we wanted to hear. Yes, hopefully all three of us will be here with a fourth, our celebrity guest appearance. So tune in and let's see where that takes us. And once again, we are trying for some other celebrities. It's probably just going to take a while. It was hard to get Jill, so hopefully we'll get more within time. And if any of you are Passions fans and you loved the show, watch the show, we would love to hear your stories and stuff like that. Just like Acacia here, we would love to actually hear how you came to love the show and what you remember about it. Who was your favorite? I mean, maybe whether you're a Team Shuis or whether you're a Lancey or whether you're a Jared and Teresa or an Ethan and Teresa or I don't know. Maybe there's a lesbian couple out there I'm passionate to know about. What's that?
Oh, Sam and Ivy.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many, whoever your team is or whatever, I don't know. Maybe there was more, maybe there was another gay couple out there that we didn't know about. But the point of it all is that whatever you loved about the show, we would love to have you appear on here along with us. Just like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Hey, 2 thumbs way up for our leading ladies. What a dish. And just leave your name and your social media account in the comment sections below. Me or Casey, we will reach out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Next weekend's going to be fun. I'm Joe Velasquez.
And Casey Metcalf.
Thank you for joining us again, Acacia. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And once again, all of you lovers out there, you are our passion for life. Thank you. All right. Woo! Have a good night, people. That's right. God bless everybody.